feature. A feature? We're gonna play with a technology called Hasura. It's something that I've been looking for, like just different like GraphQL type interfaces that we can do with databases. And initially we were using something called AppSync, which is an AWS technology. You use it inside of it connects with DynamoDB, which is sort of like I guess it's like a document store type database. It's not Mongo. It's not compatible with Mongo, but like that might be the closest way to sort of think about it. It's a key pair database. And then you can easily set up this GraphQL interface where it just reads those and just sets up everything you want off of that. I don't have AWS set up with like stuff in GraphQL or in DynamoDB right now, so it's not easy for me. Like it would be a while to like set that up. Now I wanted to use a relational database with this, and that unfortunately was a bit. It was like not compatible. Like the relationships didn't come over through the API. So we discovered this new technology called Hasura that seems to solve all of that. So I wanted to explore around a bit. So to begin with, I'm going to go create a new repo for this exploration. We're going to do this in here. So we're going to do exploring. Let's see, this is going to be Hasura Postgres. Now Postgres, because I just like it as a database, I have nothing against like document store databases. I think that they're pretty nifty. Hi, you wanna come join me? They're pretty nice. And I have used them a lot in other projects. I don't know. I just keep on coming back to Postgres though. So let's see. We'll be creating a Postgres database along with a GraphQL API to connect to it. So Hasura is an open source, free and open source application, and you can do cloud cloud services with it too if you want like a hosted option. And they have a Docker. They have a Docker container, which we could use to like set everything up. Coding Gordon fan, hello. Good morning. All right, so I've got this here. I also watched and noticed during the GitHub universe, it looks like they've added a lot of really cool stuff to do with code spaces. So for example, if I want to set this up here, and also this is not large enough. Okay, I can do GitHub code space create, and it asks me for the repository. So that's going to be this. Default branch. It's going to create the code space. Then I can do GitHub code space code. I'm going to open up that one, and now it opens up VS Code into that code space. And then also, because this is pretty cool, I can do GitHub code space SSH and hit that, and it's going to now SSH me into that code space. So I don't actually have to use VS Code with this. Oh, I do have to add that in. Which does mean, hold on, give me 1 second. I have to go actually find what the what that specific token is. You are, I believe, that one. Go over there. Yes, that worked. Okay. So and you back to here and back to you. Okay, so now you can see I am SSH'd into this code space here. So I could run Vim, I could run all sorts of stuff here, and it will just work. It'll be nice. Okay, so I am going to be using VS Code for this. So let's see, this is my knowledge wiki code space. I don't need that one open. I want you open. Poly Insecure, good morning. Hello. Happy Sunday. All right, so brand new project here, obviously. I'm thinking of doing all this stuff in Docker containers, so that way I can spin up an actual database in here without having to install a full database inside of like just all this stuff. Plus, Hasura has a Docker container too, so we're gonna do a Docker compose file. I think it's YAML. Sure, go ahead. Install Docker. So let's see. I don't remember the full things. Oh, and you know what? We're doing explorations. I totally forgot. I have this entire thing. Let me just make sure there's no spiders hanging out in it. And we can do the exploration hat. Hi. Hi. Do you want more toys? No? Not fun enough? I'm sorry. All right, so what are we doing here? I want to pull you over to the side, get rid of you. Where's my... Huh. Don't I have a Firefox? I do. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's not showing the icon. Okay, so I want you to go to the Docker compose reference. All right, so we're going to be using this version, so version 3. And let's see. Hi. No, I don't have any food. I'm sorry. I have pets. Okay, so we're going to do this. Okay, so version 3.9, it looks like, is the most recent. So something like this. So version 3.9 services. Okay, so there's going to be like a couple different things that we need. Like, right, we need a database. And I'm not going to build anything. I guess we could just use image. If you specify image as well as build, then compose name. Okay. Okay. So then I think this is Postgres, but let's go find out. It is this one. Okay, so it is just Postgres. And we'll just do the latest. Now, what more can I throw in here? Okay, so for a Docker Compose to get this running, everything's so small. Okay, so we're gonna do image Postgres, restart always, sure. Oh, environment. So environment, we're gonna have you have to give it a Postgres password. I'm not gonna this is not gonna be deployed out, so I'm okay with just like loading this in with like essentially a keyboard cat. Is that it? Is that all I need? I guess also because do I need to expose those ports? I don't think so. Because like these are adminer, so you can like PSQL into it, I think. I don't necessarily need that, but I might want I can still connect into this specific thing directly and then run PSQL stuff inside of there, I think. It's not like it's not easy to like just rebuild these as needed. Okay, so we have Postgres password, Postgres user. This is going to be just Postgres. Database is going to be default database. That should be fine. PG data. I'm just going to leave the PG data as like the default. Oh. But initdb recommends a subdirectory to be created in its data. Okay, so that's not. There's something that I can do, I believe, to. Here it is. Okay. Initialization scripts. If you'd like to do additional initialization in an image derived from this one, add a SQL under Docker entry point init db.d. Okay. After the entry point calls initdb to create the default Postgres user and database, it will run any SQL files, run any executable scripts, and source any non-executable scripts. Okay. Got it. Okay, so what I can do here, we're gonna need a mount thing, and I need a new file. So we'll call this like the init.sql. And in here, what is that? That's I know there's a mount somewhere in here. Labels network, target, command config. Those are all still like building stuff. Saravana Sabia, hello. Can you see some projects we can do using GraphQL? So I am new to GraphQL myself, so take this with a grain of salt. My understanding is pretty much anything that we can do with just like a traditional REST API, you can also do with GraphQL with some like major caveats that like it's going to be more limited than it's more limited out of the box for for GraphQL, but can be customized to be whatever you want. So like instead of us saying, hey, give me I guess like it's the other thing. Like REST is pretty limited too if you follow it. Darth Millennial, hello. So let me think about this. In a traditional REST interface, let's imagine we have like a game that we're trying to create. And like a list of games, like a games locker. Like we're having a bunch of games we want to to store and like take a look at. So we could do like a get to all games, an update to like one game, and a GraphQL is basically, okay, I want to get all games, but also get like just these specific parts of this one game. And so like it gives a little bit more power to the front end or the requester, but there's some more setup to do. So I don't know, like types of apps you can build. As far as I can tell, pretty much every type of app can be built with GraphQL. But that might just be my not great knowledge of it too. Like I'm sure that there's going to be a limitation that I'm eventually going to run into. So sorry if that's a non-answer, but that's the best I can give right now. But maybe by the end of our exploration series for this, we'll know more. Okay, so it depends on labels mode. Okay, so still devices. Can I just search for it? Mount. Wait, those are mount points. That's not what I want. Oh, you joined the stream middle, so you can say in short. Oh yeah, so what we're working on is we're exploring exploring setting up GraphQL using Hasura on top of a Postgres database. Previously, for any GraphQL stuff that I've done using AppSync, which is an AWS tool that sits on top of DynamoDB. And if you try to use it on top of like MySQL or Postgres, it works, but it doesn't pull any relationships in. This is supposed to. So it's supposed to be better. And that's what I'm trying to like figure out. What do you think of GraphQL? I think it adds too much overhead above REST for most apps. I like it mostly for the power that it gives. Like it does shift the burden of responsibility over a little bit to like more front end type of things, but it seems to be easier to like have a front end person sort of like add things to GraphQL than it does for them to add a route for REST. So I'm so far been happy with it, but as I mentioned, I haven't really used it like enough to really get to really run into the negatives of it. Just like very, very, very basic, like, apps, like CRUD apps, which like it's nice because one route wants like 15 things as part of an object, and the other route wants like 2, and GraphQL allows that. It's just one thing. I don't have to like create 2 routes for that in REST. Okay, so that mount wasn't correct. Is there any other mounts? Oh, is that it? Is it source? Oh, okay, hold on. So I was correct. So it's this source. Oh, you know what we can do? We can do a copy. I think we can do a copy. because a copy would just fine. Don't, okay, what? No copy, no, don't want that. Oh, never mind. Okay, we're gonna do amount. So it's gonna be this, I guess it's gonna be a volumes. So volumes, is that true? Yeah, okay. Path on a host relative to compose file. Okay, so this is what I want here. So volumes, and then we're gonna do dot slash. I want to pull in this init.sql file, colon, and then where it's gonna go, which we saw that I need to throw this in. Let's see, in here. And apparently anything that has a .sql in it is going to be auto executed. At least that's the theory for it. So let's see. I think this is good enough for that right now. Okay. I don't know if I need anything else. I'm gonna pull in Hasura after I get like the actual database part working. So let's go ahead and try running this now. So using my nifty SSH terminal in here, I can just do this stuff in here. So here we are. Also, what's really cool is that Codespaces has all the different shells that we want. So if I think Bash is by default, but I can also do, I remember somebody was telling me that like fish was pretty cool. So we have fish. And then oh my ZSH is also in here too. You're tempted to build your mom a Sudoku game. Oh, that could be fun. The market is dominated by crooked Sudoku makers that fill their programs with advertisements. I know, and then you can put in advertisements too, but it could be like little advertisements like, don't you want to give your child a like a cookie or something like that? Like, don't you want to bake some bread? Send it over for, no, I don't know. Something, right? Is that too evil? Advertisement. Don't crush your kids' dreams about Santa. Yeah, it could be very timely based advertisements. And then you can take in like bribes from the rest of the family to put those advertisements in front of your mom. Like this sounds completely moral and doesn't have any negative repercussions whatsoever. I think we should go for it. All right. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I want to actually just run this and see what we got. So we're going to do a docker compose up and see what happens. Advertisement. Many adults continue to receive stockings well into their 50s. Didn't you know that? Okay, so creating that. Okay, so not a directory. Did you lie to me? Oh, your parents cut you off when you hit 30. In like before I couldn't go back for Christmas, I was like we still got stockings, but like it wasn't like the content got smaller and smaller, like for obvious reasons. Okay, so you're unhappy with this. So apparently this is not a folder. Okay, hold on. I want to do a little bit of an experiment here. So let's do a down. Let's see. Isn't 3.9 heinously old for Docker Compose? So this is the version for Docker Compose. This is going to be latest Postgres version. I don't actually know. Like, this is just what I got out of the documentation, so I would assume that it's new. Okay, so let's try this. Docker run. I'll just go ahead and remove this. We'll do an IT to connect into it. Let's see, what else? I don't think I need to care about anything else. We're just gonna do a Postgres. That is how to spell it, right? Yes. It's gonna do a Postgres latest, and then we're gonna override with a bin bash. And let's go cd into slash. Oh, look, there indeed is a folder for that. So cd into doc. Okay, so docker ng point. Now, are you saying you couldn't find the init.sql? Mounting workspaces, explain Hasura, Postgres, init.sql. Okay, so I think that's correct. To rootfs at slash docker entry point. Oh, I got it. I need to do slash init.sql. That's what I think I need to do here. So let's exit out of view and let's try this again. There we go. Okay. So that makes this a little bit happier. We should have a database up and running, but I don't have... Okay, so running. Okay, so it's trying to run this. Excellent. Let's see. You didn't realize this until today, but the JavaScript event loop is actually written in C++. So from my understanding is that's true for Node, like for the Chrome engine, whatever that V8, the V8 engine is C++ based. Yeah. What is it called? So Windows has Chakra, which I have no idea what they wrote that thing in. It's probably also C++, but there's a Chakra engine, and then there's also the Spider Monkey engine that Mozilla runs, and I have no idea what that one uses either, but that one is crazy. If you want some weird, something like just to feel weird, install Spider Monkey and try to run your scripts. Like, they'll work, but they'll be like weird too. Just because like it doesn't include a lot of things that we're used to in Node. All right, so we're gonna do a Docker Compose. No, I didn't want to go down. I want to go down. Okay, there he goes. You got a notebook. First major section was async. Well then you, Dodi, you were mentioning on Discord also about streams too, right? Yeah, second section was streams. You saw stuff in the pipe. Yeah, and like I have not used them. I watched a conference talk about it once, and that was it. All right, so now you have that. I should be able to write this init.sql script. So for those of you who haven't written pure SQL, this is basically just going to be a migration type thing that like creates our tables and creates all like the data and inserts it, and then it should just be in our database. So this is where we get to decide what we're building. So I was thinking about like a games locker type thing, but I'd be open to change that topic around. I'll just go ahead and start this as if that's what we're gonna do. But if you have any suggestions, let me know. We'll just make it out. It's just a test. Sudoku, how, like the game, like I don't know enough about Sudoku to like to model that. What are the tables that we would need? And caveat, because I'm doing experimentation with this, I want to have at least one join table. So like one relationship that's a many to many. Automatically generates puzzles of a selected difficulty level. Or maybe it can be like track puzzles. Because I don't know how to do that. So let's say we're gonna do create table if not exists. I think that's how it is. The DB stuff you can only think of tracking results. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm gonna do games still, but one of them can be Sudoku. We'll make it your Sudoku even if you haven't created it yet. Automatically generates puzzles, selected difficulty level, store 10 easy, and pull from the store randomly. I know, but this is like, it feels more like the API, like the app. Because it feels like the puzzle can be stored in a JSON format, right? Like just in a JSON field. So let's do like we'll do like a players. Puzzle's a grid. You need a map like structure. Okay, let's imagine here. We have players, right? So like they're gonna log in. So we're gonna have like an ID, which is gonna be a serial. And we're gonna have maybe like they could have a name, which is gonna be, let's just say text. I could do varchar. Maybe there's nothing more that we know about them. Just the name and their ID. Okay. Oh, and also primary keys are important. So you don't usually do the if not exist. I know. So this is something like for personal projects, I often forget it, but then I've been doing this a lot for work, so I remember it now. But the if not exist protects you so much from like accidentally running it again, which is terrible. And you could also do like the drop if exists too. Okay, so let's do primary key. Primary key is going to be ID. So I learned with Postgres, you can have a primary key that encompasses two fields if you do something like this. And so I've gotten to the habit of now doing primary key as a separate line in here, as opposed to just adding it on as like primary key here, which is also valid. Okay, so we've got that. Let's do, we can do the game. You unfollowed like 6 major streamers in the last 2 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it wasn't like too big of a thing. Oh, you got into huge arguments. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Var versus let, with JavaScript stuff too, I'm assuming. Var was a valid const. Oh, like for constructing variables? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Like the programming world isn't that big that it's time for us to start attacking each other. No, I think like just like this is supposed to be this is like We're supposed to make programming fun still. But you know what? I still use var when I'm using what is it called? Let me see. When I'm doing it in here, like just in the console, I use var in here so that way I don't have to refresh the page every time I try to create the variable again. That's the only time I use var anymore. Now it's constant and let all the time due to the scoping rules and like the protections you get from that. Just really nice. I know, like I was working with some code and like I actually forgot to write a let and then ran into problems and it was like, oh no, why do this? It was what was it? Oh, you know what it was? In Lambda functions on AWS, it spins up the Lambda function and then has it sit there for like 15 minutes after the last time it gets hit. And then it tears it down. But in those times, every time it gets hit again and again and again, it's the same function, meaning it's still running in that same context. So if you have like a problem where you didn't use the right scoping, you get garbage data essentially, which was not fun at all. All right, so we're doing like some kind of game. We're gonna like it's not necessarily Sudoku, but like we can pretend that it is, and we've got like a player that like is coming into play. We've got probably levels, so we'll do another create table if not exists levels. So let's imagine this is sort of like Sudoku, which I would assume would be like a JSON object. So I'm going to do an ID. You're also serial. We're going to need a name for this. We'll have text. And then we probably have like the actual, like the level itself. I don't know. I'm just gonna call this like level. It could be the data. Just like the raw level, maybe data level. And then we're gonna make this JSON. Oh, come on. I remapped my keys, so I have to go to the escape key to turn on caps lock, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so if that's all we have here, then I don't need very much more. We're just going to do a primary key for the ID, and that's it. Now, a player can play a level. And let's say like locally, they like store all the level type stuff. So now we want like a score for this, right? And a player can play the same level and get multiple scores. So this is going to be we're going to have a many-to-many relationship between players and levels for the scores. So scores goes for both, right? I think so. Well, let's try not like let's try just like relaxing. We're in a space we're not going to get into arguments about what's, all these type of coding things. Let's just like focus on fun explorations and pretending to build an API for a game. I know, I totally understand and I get you. Like I've been there in the past where I've been really really upset. But I don't think it's going to help, right? So let's um hopefully I'll provide you something fun. Also, that reminds me, I haven't had music on at all. Maybe that'll help. What was that called? It's oh, what is that thing called? It's pretzel. There we go. I took it off of my dock, and now I forget that it even exists. What's a good station we should listen to? Or not. Thank you, Pretzel. Okay, stations. Here we'll do some chill EDM. All right, so create table if not exists. Let's see. This is gonna be our scores. So I'm thinking that, I don't know, like I've always been of the mindset that we should just always have an ID, even if you don't really need to use it. I just think it's nice. Now we want the actual score. So let's make this a int. Is it int or integer? I don't remember. We'll just make it int. And then we'll find out when it runs if we get an error. Let's see. So we have our ID, we have our score. We need to know who did this one. So this can be a player ID. We know that this is an int because we're using serial for that. And then we also need to know what level the score is for. So level ID. You're also an int. And I think that works here. Okay. Is there anything else that I need for this? Probably not. So let's now do our primary key is going to be this ID. And then we're going to have, I think it's constraint on player ID. It references players on, oh man, I've forgotten so much about this. I need to relook it up. Here, we don't need you anymore. We don't need you. Postgres, no need to shout. So Postgres, I guess this is just gonna be like a create table. What? You don't want to do dark mode? Oh, dark mode on. Okay, so okay, constraint, the name of the constraint. So that's usually what I just have it like the name of the column. And it references the table. Okay, and then the column name. So let's do this. Okay, so references players on ID. Okay, so that's the column. Match stuff, that's fine. Okay, on delete. So on delete, I want cascade. Go ahead and just delete everything. And I think that works. Huh, cascade is not an action. Okay, or maybe the action is not actually listed here and it's somewhere else. All right, but let's do the other ones too. So I have you. So we're gonna do another one. Constraint. We're going to name this one the level ID. References levels ID on delete cascade. And that should be it for that. Okay, so now we have a many-to-many table here, which is scores. We have our levels and we have our players, and that should be it. So let's say I want to like insert some data in here. Maybe before then, let's actually run this and see if it works. That might be helpful. So we're going to do our Docker compose up. Oh, okay. So here it ran syntax error at or near references. Oh, I completely, no, I didn't forget a comma. Constraint. Okay, so it did not like that references. Okay, so what I have noticed is that I have to do like an immediate down, otherwise I forget that I need to do that. And then we need to go look up, let's just go look up the examples, because that's probably better than me just trying to figure it out from that documentation. Those don't have that. What? Okay. References. Show it to me in the... Oh, wait, what? What? There's no examples of references? No, that can't be right. All right, so we're gonna go back to Google for this. This is gonna be Postgres create table references. What did I do wrong? Oh, foreign key. That's probably what I... Okay, so foreign key stuff. This is now from a tutorial site as opposed to actually just Postgres's documentation. Oh, I need to set a foreign key. Okay, constraint, foreign key name, foreign key, the columns, that's, okay, I think this is what it is. This is, okay. I was close. Okay, so constraint, player ID, and then we're gonna do foreign key. Foreign key in this case is gonna be our player ID. So player ID. And then we have this references. Everything else is the same, like that. So many words. So foreign key. This is gonna be the level ID. References that. Okay. Let's try this again. All right, look, we got it. Create table, create table, create table. Excellent. Okay, so I can now leave this sitting here like this. And then what I can do is I'm going to create a new tab. I'm going to do another GitHub, code space, SSH, into exploring Hasura. Oh, right, this thing again. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. And I am back in. Okay, so now let's connect in here. So I believe what we can do is a Docker compose. We named our thing database. So we can do, I think it's called exec. So we want to exec a command -it database /bin bash. Well, that wasn't correct. You're still working, right? You are. Okay, so you're still up. Lumicode, hello. Thank you. It's the exploration hat. All right, so that apparently didn't work. So Docker compose PS. Okay, so we do see that this is working here. We want to do Docker compose. I think it's exec. Exec, execute a command in a running container. That's what I want to do. So Docker compose exec. Okay, so then I want I don't want detached. Oh, by default, Docker compose exec allocates a TTY. Oh, okay. So I can just do exec service. So our service, if we remember, is just database. Okay, so database bin bash. There we go. Okay, so now we're inside of here. So now can I do PSQL? Okay, so root. Okay, so PSQL dash U, I want to say, for user, and it's Postgres. What is it? It's like nope. Like databases. Okay, so here we can see. Okay, so here's our relations. We have levels, we have players, we have scores. And we can do like a select star from levels and see, okay, we've got nothing in here, but like we can put stuff in here. So excellent. So things are looking good for us. I'm gonna go ahead and exit out because we're gonna be destroying this. I'm gonna take this down, and now we're gonna seed some data inside of here. So let's give ourselves let's give ourselves something. We're gonna do a player. So insert into players values. Insert into players. I think it's like the name of the column. So in this case, ID, just the name is all we care about. So name. And values, and then more stuff. So let's see, who wants to be in here? Let's go from who's chatted today. We had Dota. Oh, and I remember it's like single quotes, I think. I always forget like what one it wants. So Dota to attitude, you're a player. I want to say that we can do multiple lines too, like this. So let's see, what else do we have? KO2 fan. Coding Garden fan. Let's see, anybody else want to be part of this? Luma code, insert into table name. Here's our columns, values, and then yeah, we can do that. Oh, Dota, you did not finish up your consulting project. I'm sorry about that. That's too bad. Yeah, you're gonna have to bug fix for that. Let's do these three for right now, which is the first three chatters that we had today. Thank you, Luma Code, for verifying this. So if we do that, there's 12 reports. You have 7 done. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like just writing reports. All right, players. You can also upsert by adding at the end on conflict, do updates. Oh, really? I did not know there was an upsert. Well, this is an empty database right now, so it's definitely going to be adding them. Okay, so that's good there. So insert that. I have not done an upsert before in like this initial one. It's going to be interesting when we get to this guy. I'm gonna have to assume. So, Lumicode, do you know if there's a way for me to get the ID? I guess I can return the ID. Oh, I can do a. We can do a subquery to get the ID. That might work. Hi. Let's see. Let's do levels next. So let's create one level for this. So we're gonna do insert into levels. Levels, we have 2 things that we care about here. We have name and level. So name and level. Values. Now, this is going to be interesting. Pretty sure you can insert the ID someday. Oh, yeah, I could just manually insert the ID too. You know what? We can do a subquery, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we can, but I don't know. I haven't done that in a long time. Okay, so we're just going to create one level for this, and we're just going to like pretend it is something. So name, we're gonna do our name is gonna be Sudoku 1, and our level is gonna be. So I did find out that we can't just put JSON. It has to be stringified JSON. So it has to be wrapped inside of quotes, and then everything can just go fine here. So let's imagine that we have like an array of like a grid. So we can do like an array of arrays. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? So let's do something like an array of arrays. So like 1, 2, 3. I don't know what's I don't know proper Sudoku. 4, 5, 6. Probably removing these spaces is helpful too. I don't think it actually hurts it. Okay, then 7, 8, 9. So we'll just do a grid of 3 things here. And that should be fine. And we're just going to do that one item. Now let's go ahead and run this and make sure that this gets in there properly. So we can see here, we are init ran, we inserted 3 things, and then we inserted 1 thing. So if we come back to here, gonna rerun you, and then we can do our PSQL-u Postgres. We're in the default database. So if we take a look at our relations, let's do I think I can also do, I think table is a command. So I can do table players. And here are those. Table scores. No, table levels. And there's our data here. Now, obviously, because I'm literally destroying this database every single time, we know it's going to be ID 1, 2, 3 for this, but imagine we don't know that. Like, what are we going to do? Selective duplicate. Hello. Yes, I know. It's like, I was, my wife bought this for me for this purpose. It's supposed to be like more of those, less cowboy and more exploration through like the jungle type hats. Okay, so what are we doing here? I want to come back. If you want to return the ID and name on insert, you can add returning ID name at the very end of insert query. Right, but then can I, so I've never done this before. Can I actually capture that information in a variable in SQL? I've only done that in like JavaScript. Yeah, I could do a trigger type stuff. I've not done trigger before. So we're gonna figure this out together. All right, so back to here. We're gonna do our insert. I think we're gonna have to do a subquery. That's my theory. So we're gonna do a scores. Let's just do 1 for right now. So insert into scores. Scores. Scores, we have score, player ID, and level ID. So score, player ID, level ID, values. And so here's where it's going to get interesting. So we're just going to do 1 for right now. So Dodo was saying that they might make this. So we're gonna create one for Doda. Doda played, let's say. So we have the open parenthesis to start off for the score. So let's just say that they got, I don't know, what would the score be in, would it be time? Would it be like number of seconds it took to play? Let's say that. It was like 450. Player ID. So I'm going to do a subquery here. And we're going to say Nope, nope, back here. Select ID from players where name is equal to that. And so that should run this as a subquery and then take whatever this is selected from and then insert it in this position here. So then, okay, so there's that. And then the final one is the level ID. So same idea. So select ID from levels where I guess it's going to be the name again. Yeah, we have name and name. Name is equal to, what did I call this? Sudoku 1. Okay, so that's it. The only thing we're creating in here. So back to you. Let's see if this works or if we get errors. It worked. We got an insert. So I should be able to do now a table for scores. And now we see that one in there. And then now we can do like actual join statements. So we can do select, let's do players.name as player name. Let's see, what else do we care about? The score. And then the levels.name as level name from, it's going to be scores, join players on, let's see, what is it? It's going to be players.id is equal to scores.player ID join. Oh man, this is going off the side. Sorry, I have to turn. Well, he's not even here right now, so I'm blocking it too. That's not helpful. Let's see. Join. Oh, I know what I can do. There. That makes it so much better. Now. Okay, so join levels on levels.id is equal to level scores dot level ID. I think that works, and I just want everything. So there we go. We can see Dota 2 attitude got a 450 on the puzzle Sudoku 1. Okay, so that was all preparation. That was all setting up our database. Next up, we're going to try to figure out how to get this